to make myself a ref. But here we go, folks. I'm FearGorm here with Absentis and with D2JSP versus Reddit match number 4. It is now 2-1 in favor of Reddit, with PsY taking out 2 opponents in the row, and especially the legendary Minigun. So here we go, Xel'Naga Caverns, TVZ. I think definitely Xel'Naga is one of the best newer maps. And I think PsY, he's shown that he knows how to work with these kind of rush distances versus really, really dangerous opponents like Minigun. So I'm wondering what Fayth is going to do. I mean, we saw a very unique style of TVZ play from Myke. So now that PsY has seen that, I think he's probably expecting a more standard play. But with these D2JSP guys, you just never know.
It's true, they've busted out moves I haven't seen before. On this map, it's a little bit of a unique situation. It's just 2 players, so both players know where the other is. There's no hunting and gathering around and trying to figure out where your opponent is. It's quite straightforward. A lot of big open spaces. That natural's pretty hard to hold. There's multiple areas of attack, but we'll have to see how either player capitalizes on it. I think it's hardest for Protoss to hold or rather it's easier for Protoss to hold an expansion with cannons and kind of forming a wall. A little harder for Terran and Zerg, but we'll have to see how this plays out. Zerg, PsY sending out his drone scout and might be looking to early expand as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And for those in the chat, yeah, definitely, I think this is like a pretty mannered community, meeting of 2 communities. I don't suspect that there's any cheating whatsoever, so I don't think that's even a concern. We've never had that problem in the past. And I know PsY wouldn't, I expect Fayth wouldn't, and yeah, Myke's a nice guy too, and Minigun, so that shouldn't be a problem. But we do see he's throwing down his hatch fairly early, actually a lot earlier than he did on Delta Quadrant, which is interesting considering this is a 2-player map, so it's not like your opponent has to scout to figure out where you are. They know where you are. And I think it's going to leave him a little bit vulnerable because I'm sure Fayth is a very competent T player. And he can go in for some very, very heavy aggression. Even 5-Rax Reaper would work on a map like this. But I haven't really seen it too often. It seems like Terrans are favoring that Hellion play. So what would you do, Absentis, since you're a Terran player yourself?
In this situation, I just go for Hellions. That's my standard opening against Zerg. This is pretty interesting. Of a wall off using 2 depots and a Rax, not incredibly strong against any kind of baneling play. Fayth is going for a factory, so I imagine could see a Marine Hellion push. It's fairly potent. And PsY, again, we saw last game, he knows how to prepare for early aggression by putting down the spy and crawlers, so I think he'll be fine in this situation.
Yeah, and I think he will too, but it's interesting because Fayth has not started building any tech lab or reactor on the back, so it looks like Fayth is content to go for 1 early Hellion and then sort of progress from there instead of going for reactored Hellions and just produce a lot of them. As we see him put down his gas of 21. There's an idle SCV here. There we go. Ooh, throwing down a starport at the back. So maybe he's actually going for some cloaked Banshee play because he tried to place it very, very surreptitiously, but we will see what PsY decides to respond with because he does not often respond with any Mutalists or anything. So I wonder how he would respond to early air aggression.
Yeah, we could be seeing a drop from a Marine Hellion drop. Not necessarily Banshees, although that is quite a possibility. And with all this gas being mined, I'd actually be hard pressed for me not to assume that we'll see Banshees soon. Yeah, there we go. We have a tech lab going down that star part. So you are correct. We'll see Banshees, and with PsY just sticking with roaches and no lair for the time being, he might be in some early trouble.
Yeah, so it looks like PsY, he really favors this this hatch tech. Instead of getting early gas, he stays on 1 gas and just pumps out a ton of roaches. And yes, he will be very vulnerable to a Banshee attack. But right now, I mean, if we look at the base for the Terran player, he's trying to expand right now. All he has is Hellions. He has a reactor, so he can't even produce Marauders if he wanted to. If PsY even decides to go all in Roach, he will be extremely potent. And 1 Banshee is going to be dealt with pretty well because now that the layer is on the way, there will be an Overseer and extra Queens out in time.
Yeah, PsY's got to know that the Terran's tacking up. There should be way more Hellions out right now if this was really like a true attack and not just a poke in. Spreading out those lings, making sure that those Hellions try not to get up the ramp. Couple roaches popping out now. Should be able to send away those roaches, no problem.
Yeah, so yeah, these Hellions are not just they're just not going to get too much done. I think Psy just has too good control, and I really love how good he is about spreading his creep. Look at that, already up to this point, he can make sure he can get a nice flank of the Hellions if he needs to, and he has total control of that situation on the ground. Now that the air is on the way, there's already one Banshee out. I think another one's on the way. Myke, I'd appreciate it if you didn't talk because that is on the stream, but it's fine. And we see the command center is actually going out, so I like this as a coordinated timing push with the Banshees with Cloak as he tries to expand, but as we see an Infestation pick going down for Psy, which is actually the first time we've seen Psy go for layer tech in this series so far, like true layer tech. I'm wondering if Myke really has the units to deal with this. Beautiful move by Psy there, blocking that command center from landing, and I'm not really sure what Fayth is doing. I mean, I'm not sure why he would send it out away from the natural.
Presumably that was just a misclick when you're trying to box those Hellions to attack. Fayth has yet to reveal his hand with those Banshees that are now heading up. They've got Cloak. On the other hand, Infestor's coming out and Neural Parasite coming out. So Psy might be trying to exact some revenge from that nuke that did away our first player. Got a Thor coming out, so this kind of Thor Banshee mix from Fayth, I guess. Psy right now, he's constantly checking in and around, see what he can do, and at the same time those Banshees are now in and two-shotting those drones.
Yeah, and Psy is in big trouble. He's only now just getting his Overseer, and he already lost a lot of drones. 1 kill on that and 4 kills on that, so 5 drone kills already as the 6th one goes down. And he is trying to produce more Queens, but he just doesn't have a detection yet. That Neural Parasite also is not going to be all that useful yet. And those Banshees are really, really evening up the playing field right now as Psy scrambles to try to kill them, but Fayth is just too good a player. He does use that cliff to his advantage, and how many kills on each of those? My God. 10 kills is Sergeant and 8 kills, so 18 drone kills between those two Banshees. If we look at the income, we see that it's really been evened up. I mean, Psy was droning quite a bit, but he's pretty much on equal footing with the Terran, and he has pretty much no saturation at his natural anymore.
Yeah, Psy's now starting to put guys back into gas, evening out those drones. His Infestor does have enough for fungal growth, so we'll be able to uncloak those units. At the same time, a third Banshee's now chilling with, or going to join up with that Corporal and that Sergeant. Fayth, meanwhile, is just getting his tech up. There's even a 4th Banshee out, so really heavy on the anti-ground from Fayth.
Yeah, but he is Psy is spreading his creep once again marvelously. I mean, I just can't get over this because you see so many good Zergs who just don't spread their creep all that much. He already has it almost to the midpoint, and we see that those 3 Banshees are forcing response though. I mean, we saw that Psy did throw down a Spore Crawler, is getting Hydralisk now, does have more Infestors out. I think in the future he will be okay, but he needs a way to deal with these first. I'd actually like to see him get Mutalisk because they would sort of totally cancel the Banshees out, either force them to cloak and run away, or just kill them outright. And if nothing else, they give him true map control, and I think the combination of creep and a way to harass of his own would really be good, because right now he just doesn't have a way to assault that base right there. Although there's a wide area where he could Nidus, and he does have an Overseer in a decent position to do so if he wants to.
Yeah, looks like Psy wants to expand. I was also reading chat, and evidently Fayth is part of Team Root.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I knew the name was familiar. I was trying to figure out where I knew Fayth from.
Nice scan going down. You're going to see a whole bunch of Infestors there. You won't see the Hydra den, I don't believe. No, he hasn't seen that. And right now, Fayth looking for his own macro advantages now, trying to take out the rocks with the gold.
Yeah, so the thing is, I mean, I see a lot of players, I think after the GSL have really caught on, just take down those rocks, put down a planetary fortress, and there you go, insta-gold. I mean, it's just so hard for anyone, especially a Zerg, to assault a planetary fortress with anything less than Ultralisk. So I really like this play. Keep active with those Banshees, even if you know maybe now is not the best time to move in. Try to catch a Zerg player unaware. He does know that he needs to set himself up for a longer game, because a player like Psy is not going to die early. And really nice use of, I don't know if it's Corruption, yeah, there we go, Contaminate, as he tries to get that Overseer away. Only has 9 health, 4 health. Oh, it does die, but in the process contaminating 2 of those buildings and stopping that Thor production. So really, really good use of all of his resources.
Yeah, and you see PsY going way more roach heavy now, sending out overlords, presumably just to check everywhere, maybe make a creep highway as well. Fayth is getting his command center, he's looking to expand. Both of them are getting upgrades. I saw earlier for Terran for the +1 armor actually, and PsY was getting ranged attacks and melee attacks. It's getting ranged right now with those Hydras, so going really heavy roach Hydra, and yeah, spreading his creeper a lot right near the the gold and sniping something. Looks like he's going to be wanting to attack pretty quickly.
Wow, this is a really interesting composition from Fayth, the team root player here. He has a ton of Banshees out, actually, to deal with the ground, which is going to force a lot more Hydralisks to be made than I'm sure PsY would like. And here we go. We have a 151 army moving out for the Terran player, and 154 for PsY. PsY does not have any layer techs. It's going to be particularly difficult for it to deal with this push. He has Infestation, Neural Parasite to deal with this, but I'm not sure if that's going to be adequate. I mean, Thors are just so good. They pretty much kill Hydras in 2 volleys, so...
that was kind of unfortunate for PsY. He's getting supply blocked right now. He's 160 and only 134. He's moving out with his forces now, even bringing in Queens. Looks like he's going to be making one giant push, looking for some Neural Parasites. There we go, on those Thors, using them against them, taking out those Banshees really quickly. Thors do amazing against Banshees, Neural Parasiting even more Thors now, and PsY just taking that army and saying, hey, it's my army now. And Fayth saying, oh, what?
That was tremendous. I mean, he just took so many infestors, parasited all of the Thors and just had them kill each other. That was absolutely brilliant play from PsY, and he doesn't even have... Oh my god, unbelievable. So, Fayth, saying he didn't even think about it. I don't think anyone expected that. And PsY showing why he's such a good caster and player alike. And GG, so it is...